I'm done with sourdough. Only for today, because we're gonna be making Polish ciabatta. I'm more than happy if I can help some of you lovely home bakers to bake better bread at home, which is so simple and loaded with flavors. Let's make it, shall we? In a mason jar, add a pinch of yeast, followed by 40 grams of water and 40 gram flour. Mixy, mark it up, put it somewhere warm in your kitchen. It's gonna be double or triple its size overnight. This is a very simple method that many bakers use to enhance the flavor and bring a bit texture to their bread. And the amount of yeast that we used in this dough is like nothing, something less than 1 gram. So no excuse. Don't buy store-bought terrible breads. Make this one. Let's make the dough. In a medium-sized bowl, add 8 grams salt, followed by 320 gram water, all of the Poolish, which is 80 grams, mixy. Lastly, 350 gram bread flour and 50 grams whole wheat. With the help of a spatula, or you can even use your hand, mix everything together properly. Not more than 2 to 3 minutes, or until you had a shaggy dough like this. Then clean up your hand. It's a super wet dough with 80% hydration, but don't panic. Take the scraper, clean up the bowl. And that was all you needed to do to mix this dough. Now cover it up and let it rest for 30 minutes. 30 minutes later, bring a bowl of water close to you. Every time we're going to touch the dough, we should wet up our hand. Use the scraper to release the dough a bit. Look how gorgeous it is already. And go ahead and give this dough a set of stretch and fold. You can wet up your hand as much as you need because it's a sticky dough. It's very high hydration. And now I'm going to get fancy. Lift the dough up a couple of times. Fold it on itself. And then round it up with very quick touch inside the bowl. That's it for now. Cover it up and let it rest for 30 minutes. 30 minutes later, same thing gonna happen. Another set of stretch and fold. Again, I wet up my hand to deal with this bad boy. With each set, the dough should be more smooth and elastic. If your dough is not here at all, maybe you're using the wrong type of flour. Maybe your flour is not as strong as mine. So you can reduce the hydration to 75%. Round it up, cover it up, and this time I'm gonna let it rest for 45 minutes. 45 minutes later, time to give this bad boy a set of coil fold. Coil fold is the best to deal with any high hydration dough. Once we finished all the sides and folded on itself for a couple of times, the dough should look like this. As this step is very important to help the gluten development, let me show you how to do the coil fold correctly. Imagine this is the dough. Fold one side under itself, turn, fold the other side, overlapping this one, and then turn it 90 degrees. Continue folding the other side under itself as previous one. So if you use a rectangle or a square shaped box or even the pan, performing the coil fold would be much more smoother. And at the end, when you want to bring the dough on the surface and shape it, it's going to be much more easier. Alright, back to the dough. As you can see, some bubbles forming at the top, which is a very good sign of fermentation. Time to perform the last set of coil fold to make sure everything is set. You think how smooth and gorgeous it is? In this stage, you need to be as gentle as possible. Don't push the dough, just create little more tension. And that's it. I'm gonna let it finish its ball fermentation at 26 degrees Celsius for up to 2 hours. The fermentation time should be same as my sourdough recipe. But since fermentation always surprises us, let's see. The higher hydration dough with little bit of whole wheat, it's gonna ferment a little bit faster. Dough should pulls away from the side of the bowl easily. The surface is not that sticky and the dough feels airy and bubbly. Dust up lots of flour on the dough. because we're gonna bring it on the surface. You can release the dough a little bit to make sure nothing gonna stick to anywhere. Hold the bowl upside down and it's gonna release like a piece of cake. Flour up the other side as well. With gentle touch, just shape it to a rectangle shape. Bring a baking paper or a baking mat, and I'm gonna cut it into 6 beautiful pieces. You can make like 2 very giant pieces if you like, or even 3 or 4 pieces. That's really up to you. Don't afraid to use more flour if it was sticky. Don't worry about it at all. Transfer them as quick as possible. Don't push them at all if the shape wasn't so perfect. Now time to preheat the oven at 250 degrees Celsius and let them proof. Which at 27 degrees Celsius, it's gonna take around 40 to 45 minutes. Poke them gently. If they bounce back slowly, they are ready to bake. Gorgeous. Let's bake them. Bake them at 250 degrees Celsius with the fan on and a little bit of steam for about 12 minutes. Haha! They're gonna puff up like this. On a cooling rack, let them cool down completely. I mean, what can beat the smell of fresh bread at home, right? This has to be the lightest bread ever. Crispy outside, fluffy and hollowy inside. All I need now is a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, little bit of balsamic, little salt or pepper maybe, and that's it. Should I use a Caesar next time? Like a Neapolitan style pizza? And the moment of truth. I mean, wow. Did you know that you can make something like this at home? Expect the crumb look like this if you did everything accordingly. Tasting time. The smell of it. Dip into the balsamic and olive oil. Fantastic. Flour, water, and salt. And that's it. Okay, and a pinch of yeast. Please make this. As I'm enjoying this last piece of bread, I guess that was it. This was one of the most flavorful yet simplest bread to make at home. So no excuse and no more store-bought bread. Like always, keep baking and take a good care of yourself.